Hello designers, let's create this ad animation in After Effects. Before we begin, please ensure you've subscribed to my channel. Now, let's dive into the tutorial. Start by creating a new document. Next, import the main image file by right-clicking, selecting File, then Import. Once imported, let's scale it down. I suggest reducing it to 73%. Navigate to Layer, then New, and choose Solid. Use the eyedropper tool to select colors from the image and create a new solid. Place it below the main image layer, then lock both layers as we won't be editing them further. Now, let's draw a shape using the rectangle tool. I'll adjust its position slightly. Great, it's looking good. Let's create another rectangle shape here. Draw a rectangle. Then remove its fill and add a stroke. Set the stroke width to around 7 pixels and adjust its position accordingly. I'll shorten this rectangle at the bottom and adjust its position accordingly. Let's create the 3 dashes icon, also known as the More Settings icon, typically found in apps for accessing additional options. Start by drawing one dash. Then use Ctrl-D to duplicate it twice. Adjust the position of each dash as needed. Move them down and align them appropriately. Great. Let's lock these dashes as well. Now, let's proceed to animate the larger stroke rectangle. Go to its properties, select Add, then choose Trim Paths. Access the Trim Paths 1 properties. Ensure the playhead is at the first frame. Then click on the stopwatch next to Start. Move the playhead to the 2-second mark and add a blank keyframe. Return to the first keyframe. Set it to 100. Adjust the offset until it starts from the desired point. Once adjusted, set the first frame to 100 and the second frame to 0. This will ensure the animation starts and ends smoothly. Let's preview the animation to see the result. Excellent. Let's close the Properties panel. Now, select the Text tool and type your desired text. I've pasted the text. Choose your brand's path to success. Let's move Path to Success to the next line and adjust its size. Increase the size slightly. Perfect, it's looking good now. Let's animate the text layer as well. Select the text layer, press P for position, click on the stopwatch next to position, move to the 2-second mark, and add a blank keyframe. Return to the first keyframe and move the text layer all the way up, so it will come from the top to its original position. Let's add another text. I'll paste the other text here. Adjust its position within the document. Now, let's move it to the next line. Select the text and decrease its size slightly. Let's try 20. Perfect, that looks good. Now, adjust the position of this text. I'll place it on the left side. Here I want the line to be invisible where the text is. To achieve this effect, first, we'll use the pen tool to draw a shape that covers the area where the text is located. Ensure this shape has a fill by removing the stroke and adding a fill color. Let's rename this layer to Mask. Next, select the rectangle layer behind it. Go to its Track Matte properties. If you can't see the Track Matte properties, press F4 on your keyboard to reveal them. Now, from No Matte, select the mask layer. With the mask layer selected, click the box next to Alpha to invert the colors. Excellent. Now, the line is visible only where the mask shape isn't covering, creating the desired effect. Now let's zoom out and preview the animation. Perfect. Next, let's adjust the timing so that the text appears later. Select the shape layer and trim it from the start so it appears when the animated rectangle line is about to cross this part. Trim it by pressing Alt and the left square bracket. I think the dashes are a bit too big. Let's unlock the dashes layer first. Trim its start point by pressing Alt and the left square bracket. Now press S for scale and scale down the dashes. I think this size is perfect. Let's adjust its position again. Let's pre-compose the rectangle tool at the bottom first. Go to Layer, then select Pre-compose. Double-click on this layer to open the pre-composed layer. Before creating the shape, ensure that no layer is selected. Now, select the Rectangle tool and draw a rectangle. Go to the stroke settings and give it a stroke. Adjust the scale and position as needed. Press Ctrl D to duplicate this shape. Press Ctrl D again to duplicate it once more. Move it to the right. Ensure the spacing between the boxes is adjusted to align them perfectly together. Great, we have our shapes ready. Let's make sure the anchor points of the shape layers are centered. Select each shape layer, press and hold Ctrl on your keyboard, and double-click on the anchor point icon to center it. Now, let's adjust the position of the shapes if needed. Select all three shapes, then go to Window and select Align. Align the spacing between them. Great. Now, let's check how they look in the main composition. Go back to your pre-composed layer. Select Shape Layer and give it a different stroke colors. I'll paste the stroke color code here. Select the other shape layers and paste the color code in their stroke settings. Excellent. Now, let's add text to these boxes. Let's paste the text here. Let's change the color of the text to match the blue color of the box stroke. Also, let's move Services to the next line and adjust the font paragraph settings. Then, let's adjust the font size and move it to the center of the box. Now, we need a text in the second box too. Let's duplicate this text layer by pressing Ctrl D on your keyboard and move it to the second box. Change the text to Social Media Handling, and adjust its position and alignment accordingly. Next, let's make the boxes a bit bigger. I'll focus on making the Design Services box bigger for now and remove the other two boxes. Later, I'll duplicate this adjusted box to ensure they are perfectly identical. After adjusting the box, press Ctrl D to duplicate it and place it on the right. Repeat this step to create another duplicate and place it on the right. Great, we're making progress. Let's duplicate the text in the second box and place it in the third box as well. Replace the text with Video Creation. Now, let's adjust the alignment of these text layers to ensure they are aligned perfectly. Also, make sure the spacing between them is equal. Let's head back to the main composition to see how it looks. I think the white rectangle shape at the bottom should be a bit wider. So, let's return to the pre-comp, select the white rectangle, and widen it. Great. Now, let's adjust its height as well, ensuring it's slightly taller. Perfect, it's looking good now. Let's take the polygon tool and draw a triangle. Adjust its rotation and position as needed. We want the shape to be emptier on the side where this triangle is located. Let's ensure the triangle has a fill. The fill color doesn't matter since this area will be empty later on. The name of this triangle layer is Shape Layer 5. Now, select the white rectangle at the bottom and go to the Track Matte properties. If you can't see the Track Matte properties, press F4 on your keyboard to reveal them. Select the white rectangle layer and change its Track Matte from No Matte to Shape Layer 5. Make sure the box next to Alpha Matte box is checked. This will invert the colors, making the area where the triangle is located empty. Now, let's animate the position of this triangle layer. Animate the position of the triangle layer. Press P for position, then click on the stopwatch next to the position. Move the playhead to the 1-second frame. Add a blank keyframe. Then move a few frames forward. Adjust the position of the triangle to move it to the second box. Now, move the playhead to the 2-second frame or a few frames after it. Add a blank keyframe. Move a few frames forward. And adjust the position of the triangle to move it to the third box. Excellent. We've successfully animated the position of the triangle layer. Select these two keyframes and press F9 to apply Easy Ease to them. Now, let's go to the graph editor and adjust the graph like this. Select these two keyframes again and press F9 to apply Easy Ease to them. Let's go to the graph editor and adjust the graph accordingly. We want to ensure the movement maintains a smooth and natural flow. Let's head back to the main composition to review the animation. The small triangle moving animation should start a few frames later, after the other animations are completed. So, let's return to the pre-composed shape layer and move it a few frames later, around the 2-second frame. Now, go back to the main composition and review the animation. Perfect. Our animation is complete. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to leave comments for more suggestions or ideas for future videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content.